Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
For this is what the Sovereign Lord says.
Why do you need prophets to tell people who you are and what you want?
If you can justify everything that the God of the Bible has done, then you can justify any of your behavior.
A lot of this mentality is trickling into what is now mainstream right-wing Christianity.
I am capable of empathy greater than this God of the Bible.
This is a Bible that they tell kids. This is the good Lord. This is the good book. He is fantasizing about murder, mass murder.
Head over to sacrilegiousdiscourse.com right now to find out how to leave us a review or support us on Patreon.
Hey there, sinners and saints. It's your favorite Bible-bashing duo from Sacrilegious Discourse, and we need your help.
That's right, folks. We're raising funds for some heavenly equipment and a studio that doesn't sound like it's in the depths of hell.
Our current setup, let's just say it's more apocalypse than audiophile.
So if you want to hear us dissect the Bible without the background noise of demonic squirrels, chip in a few bucks.
We're aiming for $5,000 to upgrade our audio and build a studio worthy of blasphemous banter.
Donate today and help us spread the good word of atheism.
You can find a link right on our homepage, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. Every dollar counts.
Even if it's from your collection plate. Husband!
Wife!
What the fuck are we doing?
Well, we're catching up.
We sure as fuck are.
Yeah, we've been a little bit behind, but we're getting back to, we got I think a Q&A today, is that right?
We do. We have a Q&A for Zechariah Chapters 1 through 4.
I understand that there are 5 visions.
Yeah,
and
that we got to dig into.
We're going to unpack the shit out of those things.
I mean, unpack the shit. It is shit. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Are you ready to get into these visions?
I am.
Let's do it.
Okie dokie. All right, we are getting into the first 4 chapters of Zechariah.
Okay.
Zechariah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure how I wanted to break this down, so bear with me.
Sure.
We're going to do like a little bit of summary because as I recall, and it's been a minute, we had like zero understanding of what the fuck was happening except for Zeki was having himself some wild ass maybe mushroom infused visions. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like he was like high off his balls.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Or tripping balls. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
His balls, they were a tripping.
Right.
Yes.
So because his balls hung low and they wobbled to and fro.
They did. They did. Yeah. So we had no idea what was going on, except for Zeki's having himself some wild ass visions.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And we did not understand the visions. We didn't understand who was talking. There was men. There was angels of the Lord.
It was very confusing.
There was so much happening.
Yeah.
And within these 4 chapters, there were 5 visions.
Right.
So, I mean, even at that, right?
Yep.
So, okay. So just to give us a little bit of recap.
Okay.
And try to explain as I go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like the first chapter, I'm going to break it into 3 separate sections. The first one was a call to the Lord. And that's where, or not a call to the Lord, a call of return to the Lord.
All right.
Where God is basically telling the people, come back, you gotta build my house. And then the second 2 parts of chapter 1 are each a vision. Okay.
Yeah.
So having said that, all right. So chapter 1, the first part is the prophet Zeki earnestly exhorts the people to repentance.
Okay.
That they may escape such punishments as had been inflicted on their fathers.
Okay.
Because, for 70 years, they've been hating it.
Right.
Because they were in the Babylonian exile.
Yeah.
Okay. So, at the time Zechariah delivered.
I just want to point out real quick, though.
Yeah.
You say they were hating it, but like,
They
as I
weren't,
recall, they had houses. They
Yeah.
had they were pretty much kind of integrated into the society.
It really depends on how the story wants to present itself every single day, every single verse that you read. If it's convenient for them to have been suffering, then we talk about the suffering.
I guess the point that I would try to make here is that if it was a choice between being conquered by the Assyrians or the Babylonians, I would have chosen the Babylonians every fucking time.
Every fucking time.
Because the Assyrians were terrible.
Oh, they were hardcore, man. They were not just murdery.
They disemboweled people and shit.
They were, while they were still alive.
Yeah.
They were not just murdery, they enjoyed it.
Right.
They were nasty folks.
And the Babylonians gave you houses.
Right.
I'm give me the house.
And took your kids to school.
Right.
Sounds like the Babylonians were honestly in better shape than the United States currently. So, anyway.
Right, yeah.
So... At the time Zechariah delivered his first message, Haggai, remember that guy, Haggis?
Yeah.
He had already been preaching for about 2 months.
Okay. Yep.
In his 2 recorded messages, remember Haggis only had 2 chapters.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Haggai had shown that all Israel's current difficulties were because of the people's selfishness and disobedience and failing to rebuild the temple.
Right.
Those bastards. But then we also read a little side note, but also they had to run everything through Babylon, and it was a mess. And also they were being attacked by other people.
Wasn't as easy as just let's go build it.
God said build, but I just love my air conditioning.
But and again, I'm just going to say this again, but God didn't say build. It was the prophets that said build.
Well, they said build because God told them to.
Right. But the people didn't hear God saying it.
Right.
They heard the prophets telling them God said it.
Yes.
So
correct.
There's a big difference.
There is a big difference. And quite honestly, I don't understand believing somebody who says, hey, there's this sky daddy and he really wants us to get busy building.
Well, and it's not just that, but the prophets haven't always been known to agree with each other either. We've talked about that multiple times because the prophets are don't listen to those other prophets because they're false prophets. And it's okay, but how the fuck do you know which ones are false and which ones are not?
You know what? I'm going to go with they're all false.
Right.
Prove me wrong, right? I'm the prove me wrong guy when it comes to God and prophets.
Right, yeah.
Okay. So as a result of Haggai's preaching, the people stirred themselves and started to build again.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where we are when we start Zechariah. Okay. Now I'm going to read verse 1 because it's relevant. Okay.
Yeah.
In the 8th month of the 2nd year of Darius, remember Darius the Great?
Oh, yeah.
He's so fucking great.
Yeah.
He made me come every time. He's great. The word of the Lord came to the prophet Zechariah, son of Berechiah, the son of Iddo. Remember, we had that whole, was it his dad or his granddad? Whatevs.
Yeah, right.
Okay, who cares?
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter.
I sure as hell don't.
No, I don't either. FYI, there are at least 27 different Zechariahs mentioned in the Bible,
Jesus.
as it was a common name in Old Testament times.
That's way too many Zechariahs.
I'm serious. What? Y'all, come on. Be original.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
This particular Zechariah, though, he was mentioned in Ezra chapters 5 and 6. And I'm just going to read a couple of those verses because it's relevant.
Okay. Yeah.
So, Ezra chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Now, Haggai the prophet and Zechariah the prophet, a descendant of Iddo, prophesied to the Jews in Judah and Jerusalem in the name of the God of Israel who was over them. Then Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, and Joshua, son of Josadak, set to work to rebuild the house of God in Jerusalem. And the prophets of God were with them, supporting them. Okay, so
that was in Ezra? Okay.
Ezra chapter 5. This is from Ezra chapter 6, verse 14. So the elders of the Jews continued to build and prosper under the preaching of Haggai the prophet and Zechariah, a descendant of Iddo. They finished building the temple according to the command of the God of Israel and the decrees of Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes, kings of Persia.
Okay.
So I thought it was really interesting, you know? I forgot that we read those, but I do remember when we read them at the time, I was like, I think these guys are going to come up again, but I can't be bothered because there's too many names already.
Right.
And so like now we're on the other side of that, and it's like, oh yeah. So Zechariah served the Lord in the years after the remnant returned from the 70-year Babylonian exile.
Sure.
His prophetic career began in the reign of Darius, the ruler of the Medes and Persians. Okay. The timing of Zechariah's prophecy sets it 2 months after Haggai's first prophecy, and within a month after another prophecy of Haggai. So we're talking sometime between like October and November of 520 BCE.
Got it. Okay.
So Zechariah joins Haggai in the preaching. So they're both like holding hands and skipping and playing like hopscotch and jump rope. And they're like, 1, 2, 3, build with me. Except I'm not building. It's only for the builders.
Right.
Yeah. Because these dudes ain't building.
Right. They just lay around and wait for God to talk to them.
Mm-hmm. And they can't get their hands dirty. They got them special God hands. So they recall that disobedience to the prophets of former times had led to hardship and finally to captivity. So they're out there like, remember how you were just captured for 70 years? And remember prior to that when everything sucked all the time always? Mm-hmm. Because we sucked all the time always. And God was so mad. So we just have to be good now. Okay.
I see.
We have to build, etc.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that sounds like a sales pitch, but hey, you know, whatever.
Sure, totally. So Zechariah begins his prophecy with a call to repentance and a call that remembers the poor spiritual heritage of Israel and Judah. The sin of their fathers doomed the nation to exile, and Zechariah warns the people to remember that the same thing could happen to them. So he's like, don't fuck this up. We literally just got out of Babylon.
Right.
And we're free and we can build and shit. So, like, don't fuck this up. Okay?
I think my question would be, as a person trying to worship this God or not, whatever, would be, why do the people that don't worship him at all get a pass and we don't?
Because they are not chosen and you are.
I don't give a fuck.
But like, you're Jewish, so yes, you do.
So basically, I would have it easier if I wasn't Jewish. Is that
Correct.
What you're telling me?
Yes, and that is what many Jewish peoples have complained about over the years.
Right, yeah.
It sucks to be chosen. They're like, I wish I wasn't chosen.
Right.
How about if you don't choose me?
Yeah.
Like, awesome. So the people should therefore learn from their forefathers' experiences and take notice of the words of the prophets. This means not simply that they must rebuild the temple. Like, that's the checking the box thing. That's going through the motions.
Right.
More importantly, they must acknowledge their sin, accept God's discipline, turn from their disobedience, and begin a new life of devotion to God. So don't just go to church on every Sunday. Like, really mean it.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So Zechariah encouraged God's people to not only rebuild the temple, which was the emphasis of his contemporary prophet Haggai. So Haggai was like, build, build, build.
Yeah.
And Zechariah is like, yeah, do that. However, also rebuild your relationship with the Lord.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So even the temple is a little bit symbolic.
Yes. Totally symbolic.
Right.
All right. So from there, we get into our first vision. Okay. This is the vision of the horses and the myrtle trees. Remember all that?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay. So Zechariah's vision of the 4 horses and their riders. In the first vision, some mounted patrol officers have just returned from a tour of duty. And you said duty. And report to a rider on a red horse who is standing among some myrtle trees, either in a ravine or a hollow. Yeah. Our interpretation said ravine, but others say hollow.
Okay.
So I thought it was cool to include both words.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I did not understand as we were reading through this that that's what those guys had just come from doing.
Got it.
Did you get that? No. Okay, good. So I'm not alone. I was like, what are these guys up? I don't understand anything that's happening.
Right.
So these guys had just been like touring the world.
Okay.
Or the world as they knew it.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they were like just looking at what's happening around. Okay. This exploration mission examined the progress of rebuilding Jerusalem and the other cities of Judah. its purpose was to examine the work of God's people, near and far. Okay.
Yeah, right.
And don't forget, like, we're going to be getting into the measuring of the city, right? So that vision is directly related to this vision.
Okay.
Okay. And that's why I mentioned it, even though we're not there yet.
Okay.
Okay. Bible commentators debate the meaning of the horse's colors: red, brown, and white. Whatever.
Got it. Okay.
Connecting them with the 4 horsemen of the Revelation does not work because those guys are merely observers and not messengers of judgment, as in Revelation. So these are not the 4 horses of the apocalypse. They're just 4 other horses.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some suggest that the different colors mean different angelic offices or orders of a heavenly host.
Okay.
And if you'll recall, we early on did a special episode over angels and their different hierarchies.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember
I think
what
it was a Patreon, but
I don't remember if it was a Patreon or if it was an open bonus.
Right.
All I do remember is that there were angels, but I don't remember the hierarchies because it's silly. So the myrtle tree is a laurel bush. Okay. It's evergreen, and that is possibly a symbol of the people of Israel because they are, you can never stomp them out completely. They're always there. Right. Which is good. You know,
sure.
We want these people to live.
Right. Yeah.
So, ever living. Okay.
Right.
The vision of horses among 2 myrtle trees represents watchful heavenly spirits keeping watch on earth. Okay. So, I mean, if that's what you say, I guess. Like, whatever. So the patrol officers report that throughout the empire, all is calm and peaceful. And you would think, yay, right? Like, no war, loving that.
No, it sounds good to me.
Right? So this report may be good news for the Persians, but is not good news for the Jews, who have now been in bondage to foreign overlords for more than 70 years. They long for freedom and pray for God's mercy. Okay? Yeah. I'm not sure why peace is bad for them, other than that maybe it makes them complacent or something. I don't really get it.
They're people that are, like, they're not fully in charge of their own destiny right now, right? So, like, maybe they would hope that some other conquering force would take over the Persian/Medes so that they could rule themselves. But then you're still talking about another force that's going to be in the area that would probably then end up in your doorstep, which is not good either. So be careful what you wish for. Yeah. Like, I that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, so. I didn't really understand that, but I threw it in there in case anybody, like, gets it. Yeah. Like, explain to me, please. So the patrol found that the world was at peace, but God was angry with the nations of the world because they were at ease while God's people were suffering. Okay. So God tells them that although he used these other foreign nations to punish them, like, remember, he was like, they are such tools. Yeah. I'm going to use these people to whip the fuck out of you.
But they'll get theirs, Yeah.
So, but those nations went beyond the limits he had set.
Okay.
So, like, the Syrians, for example. Right. He was like, I'm totally going to let them beat you because I want them to beat you. But then he's like, oh my God, I'm so mad for how you beat my people that I told you to beat.
Right. But then they didn't get their comeuppance. Yeah. So, like, where's God?
Yeah.
What happened? Why didn't he do that?
So he loves his people and he knows what their enemies have done to them. That's what this message is.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's like telling them, I know. Just hold on. Okay.
But why you got to hold on?
Right. Exactly.
Like, why can't you just take care of it, man?
Exactly. So I want to compare 2 different versions of verse 14 because it's interesting the way it reads in our translation versus other translations.
Sure.
Okay. So ours says, this is what the Lord Almighty says. I am very jealous for Jerusalem and Zion, and I'm very angry with the nations that feel secure. I was only a little angry, but they went too far with the punishment. And actually, that's verses 14 and 15. Okay. Yeah. So I want to compare that to other translations out there.
Yeah.
Thus says the Lord of hosts, I am zealous instead of jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with great zeal. I'm always zealous with zeal.
Jealousy.
You cannot be zealous unless you have zeal.
Yeah.
But you can be zealous if you don't have moxie. I personally recommend having both moxie and zeal.
Got it.
Personally.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a great
That's the
combo.
way to go.
Right.
For sure.
Okay, so he's zealous with great zeal. I am exceedingly angry with the nations at ease, for I was a little angry, and they helped, but with evil intent. Instead of, but they went too far with the punishment.
Got it.
Do you see the difference there?
Yeah.
So I found that translation is like, wow, those are like, I guess the message is kind of the same, but like, how did you get that word choice?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of the translations of the Bible are whoever is translating it, kind of the message that they're wanting to convey gets slightly tweaked here or there.
Sure.
And, to me, evil sounds much more sinister than they went a little too far type thing.
Yeah. They went too far with their punishment. And they helped, but with evil intent.
Right.
Like, yikes.
Yeah.
Calm your tits, bro.
That's a big it's a big break from just they went too far.
They went too far, bro.
Right.
Versus
people can go too far.
Yeah.
But if you're evil, you're always evil. Right. So
yeah. So it's also like a matter of how we view these nations forever after.
No, I mean,
so
if
it matters.
If they went too far, it's easy to forgive going too far. Right. If they're evil, they're always evil.
Yeah.
Right. So like that, even in today's society, that could intone hatred towards other cultures.
Exactly.
And that's not a great way to phrase something, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
Trying to be
peaceful.
Yeah. Right.
Right? Like, you can't be peaceful with an evil nation. Like, how do you be evil with, for example, I don't know, Nazis?
Well, yeah, I don't think you can.
You can't. You can't. That's why our country is in trouble. That's why I use that example.
Sure, yeah.
That whole thing like 5 years ago, and now they're trying to push it again. Can't we just find a way to get along? Can't we all just get along? Just find common ground. And what I took from that was hug a Nazi or else you're the bitch.
Right.
And I'm like, how about no? Fuck off. You don't understand what you're talking about. You're both siding an issue and you're part of the problem.
I do want to say I do respect the people that go out of their way to help reform people that have fallen down the rabbit hole of right-wing nationalist Christian bullshit. There are people working towards those things, and I do respect that. I think
that is a very valuable and wonderful thing that they are doing. I don't like being told that I'm a bitch because I'm not doing it.
Well, and I think more importantly, as a collective and as a force of, a force that we have to deal with in our country, it's impossible to collectively deal with them individually. Right. They are absolutely a political force in our country right now.
Yes.
And that's something that has to be reckoned with in more than just a individual reforming way.
Right.
And it's good to have that going on, but we need to do more.
And I'm not the person for that. You and I have talked about it, and there's a lot of and I'm not trying to get off track too much here, but... Oh, I'm always trying to get off track. Go on.
With regard to how these ideas kind of percolate through our society, they are they base a lot of this by catering to the alpha male genre of men, even women.
Yeah.
But they cater to this group, and they know that they are one of the loudest groups because they have a lot that they're angry about. Yeah. And it forms this like whole bullying culture that kind of bullies other people into pseudo agreeing with them.
Just to make them be quiet.
Right. But that also leads people down these dangerous avenues of, well, maybe I will look into that.
Right. Exactly. As though it's a valid option. It's not, you guys.
Right.
It's not.
But that's these people that are pushing these alpha male ideas and these Christian nationalist ideas that are built around an alpha male mentality know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
They know what they're doing.
They absolutely know. Yeah. It's falling up is part of that whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, he's like, those people were total tools and now I hate them, but don't worry about it. I got you.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So therefore, he will now turn and help Israel again. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
And so the temple's going to get finished and the city will be rebuilt.
Hey, that's
and
fantastic.
It will be made prosperous once more.
Awesome. Good to hear.
Yeah. And then about 4 years from the time of that prophecy, Zion was comforted and Jerusalem was specially chosen and the temple was rebuilt 4 years after Zechariah gave his prophecy.
Hey, that's great.
You know,
yeah. Good
that
stuff.
happened.
Good stuff.
So, yay.
That's one of those prophecies that got completed then?
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Within the book.
Yeah, no, I know.
I mean, it's still trash, but like at least it was within the book.
Right,
yeah.
right. Yeah.
So that was the first vision. Okay, we're still in chapter 1. Yeah, and now we're going to talk about the second vision. I know, I'm so sorry.
No,
it's
you're
not
fine.
my fault.
You're fine. Yeah.
Okay, so this vision is about the 4 horns and the 4 craftsmen, which we later learned were carpenters, which fucking matters.
Sure. Yeah.
I think.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
There's a difference, and one word means more emotionally.
For Christians.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's like, even not Christians, we all know what you mean.
Right, but as far as your religion goes,
yeah,
it matters more to Christians.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It matters more for the Christian story.
Right.
Okay. So the 4 horns represent the nations that scattered God's people. Okay. And the second vision assures the Jews that they need have no fear of foreign overlords. Nations may attack them from all sides, using their power to oppress Israel as wild beasts use their horns to terrify their victims.
Right.
But their success will not last. Just hang in there, guys.
It's very demeaning to refer to your enemies as wild beasts.
Oh yeah,
it allows
dehumanizing,
hate, and it allows nationalism.
Evil, and we just got through calling them evil. Now we're calling them wild beasts. Yeah, totally dehumanizing. Yeah. In biblical times, horns spoke of strength and authority because the power of a bull or an ox is expressed through its horns.
Makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, horns are hornish? Yes, I understand. I understood that reference.
Right.
So if Zechariah spoke of scattering Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem in a broad prophetic sense, including scattering that had yet to come, then the 4 horns that are those nations are very likely Babylon, Medo-Persia, like the Medes and the Persians,
right.
Greece, and Rome. Okay. But that's only if this was a prophetic vision.
Right. Speaking
of scattering that hadn't happened yet.
Got it.
Okay.
Because otherwise it would include the Assyrians instead of
probably. Yeah.
Something else.
Yeah. The vision of 4 horns and carpenters symbolizes the idea that men will cut down and terrify the enemy nations that battled Israel.
Okay.
Take your marks.
Right.
So God announces judgment against the nations that scatter his people, and each nation that attacks Israel will be overthrown. So says God, or whatever.
I mean, on a long enough time scale, I suppose that's true,
Yeah, I guess. So that was chapter 1, visions 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're on chapter 2. This one's a little shorter.
Okay.
And so we're going to talk about the third vision.
Okay. Yeah.
This one is the one with the measuring line and the protection promised. Okay. The call to return to the promised land. Okay.
Yeah.
So in the third vision, Zechariah sees a young man going out to measure Jerusalem in preparation for the rebuilding of its walls.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not a small task.
No.
And I thought it was an angel.
No, it was a man, and he asked the angel, "The fuck is that? What's going on?"
Oh.
And he asked the angel to explain it to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to read verses 1 and 2. Verse 1, there's some stuff that happens, and it's longer than necessary, so I'm just reading the last part of it.
Got it.
There before me was a man with a measuring line in his hand. I asked, "Where are you going?" He answered me, "To measure Jerusalem, to find out how wide and long it is." Remember, we were like, why?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Right.
This is so weird. There actually was kind of a reason. Okay. Jerusalem was being measured to make sure that it's large enough for the multitudes that God is going to be bringing to the city.
Oh.
In the time of Zechariah, it seemed strange to worry about Jerusalem being big enough because there seemed to be too few people in the city.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
But he's calling them all to come back from where they've been scattered.
So this is just like the measuring of the city is like, this is how much we need to prepare for how many people are going to be coming back.
Yeah.
We have to measure the city to find out. We can't just expand afterwards. We have to know ahead of time.
Yeah. Okay. So the vision of the man with the measuring line ultimately symbolizes, in and of itself, the restoration of Jerusalem.
Okay.
Right. But a messenger stops him, for the rebuilt city will extend beyond the walls of the former city. In fact, it will not need walls at all because
God's going to protect them.
God will be its protector.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So those Jews that were still in Babylon may have made living conditions reasonably comfortable for themselves, which we discussed.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's that they made living conditions comfortable for themselves so much as that they were allowed to have that by their captors.
Yeah.
And they were like
that terrible.
Right.
At least at this point in time. Like they literally let them go back to their homeland.
Right.
So like the relations between them was at least bearable.
Right.
You know?
And they lived pretty well.
Right.
So
and they've talked about that since the time that they got conquered on. That they had houses right off the bat.
Yeah.
So I mean it wasn't like there was ever a time where they were being tortured and I mean I'm sure bad things happened, right?
Yes.
I'm not gonna say that didn't happen. But
and also, just because you live in a gilded cage doesn't mean you're not a prisoner.
Sure. Yeah.
So
I'm not trying to disparage that. But also, this time in human history was a very barbaric and warring time where people got conquered and people conquered, and it was just a thing that happened.
Right.
And I'm not trying to excuse that part of human history, but it's not anything special that they went through versus other cultures. And
it's understandable why they would be like, I got a nice house. It's been 70 years. Yeah. I don't mind.
Like, is it even your homeland after that? Like, I mean, other than like a legacy, it's really not anything that you would even know or recognize mostly.
I know I'm not a fair judge to ask that question of because I've moved so much in my life, having been a military brat and then a military person myself and traveled with a truck driver for a year or two. Like, I have moved around a lot.
Sure, but now you've been in one place for about 25 years now.
Yeah, I've been in Ohio since the end of 2000. I moved here.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, would I feel like a draw to come back to Ohio? I don't know.
You don't think if you left you would miss... I mean, you miss things about other places you've been in your life.
I miss... The one place that I miss is where I spent the 5 most formative years of my youth.
Yeah, when you were over in Italy.
Yeah.
But you also talk about when you lived in San Antonio. You talk about the Riverwalk, and you talk about the burrito places.
I can live without it.
But there are things. I'm saying there are things that you do like that you would go back and visit.
So you were arguing like, is that even your homeland anymore? You Jewish people that have been away, and now you're like, but surely you'd miss the burritos,
right? No, I see where you're going with that.
Yeah. So
I mean,
which way is it?
Well, I'm just. You're saying that you don't have a homeland, and I get how you're equating it, but these people have a
religious and emotional cultural
yeah, they
tie.
have a tie directly to it that is reinforced by their community, I'm sure.
And the burritos were delicious.
They must have been.
I mean, look, I'm sorry. I know that this is trash. You can at me all you want, okay?
Yeah.
But Taco Cabana slaps. I don't fucking care.
I've never had it, so I can't say anything.
You've never been to Texas, but yeah, it's completely obnoxious. Like, it's bright pink and turquoise, like Barbie colors is their entire like logo and like the way the walls are painted and everything.
I feel like the first place you would have us visit if I went down to Texas with you would be Taco Cabana. Yeah,
when my sister and I drove from Ohio to San Antonio, which is no small feat, I will have you know.
Right.
The second that we got into San Antonio, that was the first thing we looked for where is the nearest Taco Cabana to our hotel.
Yeah.
We literally ate breakfast there every morning the whole time we were there. And I mean, we were there only like a week, maybe, if that. I don't know. It was for our grandmother's funeral and stuff like that. Right. So I don't remember. It was less than a week, but every day that we were there, we ate breakfast at Taco Cabana.
Right.
So, but I'm not trying to say I love San Antonio or Texas, but goddamn, I wish that we had a Taco Cabana up here in Ohio. Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, they could put one just like right by our house and they'd do fine.
It's their salsa.
It's their salsa.
It's their salsa.
Yeah. I can't speak to it. But.
You know what? It's their meat and their tortillas. My God.
This is like an ad break.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, and here's the thing, though. Like, I know that everybody listening to this that lives in San Antonio, I know you know what I'm talking about. And I know that you are like, oh my God, really? Really? Because it's kind of like the Starbucks of the area. There's like one on every corner.
Right, but you moved away.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't have that Tim Hortons taco.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm just saying, like, I recognize that there are people in San Antonio that are like, for real, I can't with you right now. So, apologies, but sorry, not sorry.
Right.
You know, I be how I be.
Right.
All right. So, anyways.
Back to God.
Back to God.
Yeah.
And so these people are like, I don't know if I want to go home. And, you know, it's kind of cool where I'm at here.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
Yeah, I don't either. But they should be aware of becoming too settled. Oh. After 70 years. They were supposed to live on their toes.
Like, dude, it's already too late. We done settled.
I mean...
Can you imagine being told, hey, your God wants you to uproot your entire fucking life. I know you're comfortable and all, but you need to, like, leave that all behind and come over here and rebuild everything.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait...
you can look,
I know my parents signed up for this, but like I didn't sign up for it, man.
No, I'm out.
I'm done.
I'm out.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me think of you know how we're always watching Star Trek shows.
Yeah.
And right now how we're in Voyager.
Yeah.
And how the Doctor went through this time like dilation thing where the planet he was on for like every second that he was there, so many years passed or whatever.
Right.
So he was there for 3 years waiting for them to come back for him. And in that time, he married and had a child.
I'm still trying to work out how he had a child.
I want to know how a hologram has fucking working sperm.
I mean, we talked about it. Maybe maybe it was adopted, or maybe the woman he was with was already pregnant when they got together.
But he named that kid Jason,
right?
Which was an unusual. Like they specifically commented that it was an unusual name, which means that name meant something to him that he was allowed to name this child.
Right.
So yeah, either he adopted his girlfriend's baby or. They adopted one together. I don't know.
Right. And why the name Jason?
I don't know.
Like, where did that come from?
Who is Jason on the show? Like, we don't even know it. All I'm saying is, like, he was only there for 3 years. These people were there 70 years, and they're expected to be on their toes the whole time. Whereas the Doctor was like, it's been a minute. Oh, I'm going to get married and have a kid now.
Right.
3 years was all it took for him to settle. So that's the comparison I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read verse 6 and 7.
Okay. Yeah.
Come, flee from the north, declares the Lord, for I have scattered you to the four winds of heaven, declares the Lord.
Okay.
Come, Zion, escape, you who live in daughter Babylon.
Daughter Babylon. That's, you know. Yeah. That doesn't sound so bad.
No, she's right.
Right.
So in Zechariah's day, few of these people who were carried into captivity in the Babylonian Empire returned to the promised land when they were allowed to, which is why the Lord exhorted his people to return to the land he gave them. So, like, they were not excited to go back. They were like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
And so, like, all these prophets are like, no, but God wants you to. Real bad.
Well, because we've talked about this many, many times, but like if the prophets and the governors don't have people to lead, they don't have power.
Yeah.
Right? So it makes sense for them to be pushing for this and using God as an excuse.
Well, yeah, because how else are they going to get coins and goats?
Right.
Who's going to give that to them for free?
Yeah, this is just building their fucking base. That's all they're doing.
They're just getting the grift on.
I mean, that's all it feels like the whole time that we've been reading this.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So
most of the exiles were super comfy in Babylon and refused to endure the challenge to build a work of God. They were like, fuck that.
Don't blame them.
They were like, have fun with that temple over there. I'm good.
Right.
Yeah. So there were reasons for rejoicing, though, because guess what?
What?
God promises to protect his precious people that he fucked for years.
Yeah, like, what kind of fucking promise is that? You've done that so many goddamn times. I can't even count at this point.
He's always making promises, and then he's like, psych.
Right?
So they should return to Jerusalem as quickly as possible, both to enjoy its blessings and to avoid the punishment that is about to fall on their captors. Okay, so here's verse 9, still in chapter 2.
Sure,
okay?
yeah.
I will surely raise my hand against them so that their slaves will plunder them. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
right.
God promises that those who enslaved the people of God would become spoil for the restored people of God. The enslavers would become the enslaved because we love retribution and getting even and vengefulness. Like, we love all of that, right?
And condoning slavery, apparently.
Yes, very exciting.
Regardless of what the reasoning is behind it, you're still condoning it.
Look,
this God is still condoning it.
This is one of those times when, honestly, I don't fucking care who started it.
Right? Yeah.
I'm ending it. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's what my mom used to say when we were fighting, and when me and my sister were like fighting.
Yeah.
And like, sometimes it does matter, and I wish that she had like actually interceded more to like get down to the nitty gritty of who did start it.
Right.
But slavery is an issue where I don't fucking care. Stop telling me, but they did it first.
Yeah.
Well, they sold them to us, so
Just
it's fine.
Don't do it anymore. Period.
I don't care.
The end.
Yeah. I mean, look, and I don't want to say, I'm talking to slavers. When I say, I don't fucking care, stop. When I say I don't care, I totally care. Anybody who is listening to this and is descended from slaves, of course I care.
Right.
That is why I am telling them, the slavers, I don't fucking care. Stop.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, I don't want to, like, be sounding like I don't care to people who are descended from slaves.
Right.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. So anyway, God gives further encouragement to those working on the temple by assuring them that it will be the means by which he dwells among his people again. Citizens of other nations will renounce their gods and come to join with Israel as the people of God. And it's going to be so fucking exciting. Okay, so the first 3 visions that we have just read, they are largely messages of encouragement to the builders. Okay. And that kind of matters because the ones after this, they're directed elsewhere. I'm not going to tell you like where until we like get done with more past what we've read. Okay. But now we're starting chapter 3. Okay. And chapter 3, I have broken into 2 parts. Okay. So the first part is the vision of the Lord, Satan, and Joshua, the high priest. And the second part is God's message to Joshua, the high priest. Okay. So we're getting into our 4th vision. Okay. Are you ready?
Is there rebuking in this one?
There is rebuking. I did not write that because I knew I could not get through it without cracking up.
Right.
Like, whatever.
Yeah.
So the angel...
Wife, I rebuke you.
You do not rebuke me.
No, I don't.
Sir.
I don't.
You never rebuke me. Absolutely not. Satan, I rebuke thee in the name of God. Whatever. Okay, so Zechariah then has a 4th vision. A version of a vision in which he sees Satan accuse the high priest Joshua, and therefore the people he represents, of being unclean.
Which, just a reminder, in the Old Testament and in Jewish book and lore, Satan is the accuser.
Yeah, I'm actually going to get there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, totally fine that you knew that without my notes. Yeah. So remember how in this vision, like Joshua was filthy?
Yes.
And we were like, what?
Right.
So his being filthy is representative of the people being filthy.
Okay.
So what was happening here is that Satan's like, he is way too filthy to be in the presence of God, and these people are way too filthy to be yours. So
I see.
And yeah, I did not get any of that.
Right.
I was like, he's filthy, and Satan's like, look how dirty that guy is. Like, I did not know the deeper meaning in this.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I missed all of that.
Sure.
So, because of their long exile in idolatrous Babylon, they are no longer fit to enter God's presence. Okay. So they are filthy, right?
Okay.
So, in other words, Satan is hinting that the people are wasting their time building the temple because they're not clean. So, the building of the temple is pointless, says Satan.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Since they are unclean, no sacrifices that they offer there are going to be acceptable to God. So, like, why are you even having them build this, God?
Right.
Like, see, that Satan being all sneaky there, right?
Right.
Like, and it's logical. I see what he's saying.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so here's verse 1 of chapter 3. Then he showed me Joshua, the high priest, standing before the angel of the Lord. Let me read that again because I had the wrong emphasis.
Okay.
Then he showed me Joshua, the high priest, standing before the angel of the Lord, and Satan standing at his right side to accuse him. Because, as you pointed out, in Hebrew, Satan means accuser or adversary.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So God replies to Satan, excuse you, I have not cast off my chosen people.
Right.
Okay? Step off, calm your tits, Satan. I totally want to tell Satan, calm your tits, Satan. The people's time of exile in Babylon has been his punishment on them. So he's like, no, they're fine. I got this. I already took care of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're good. And now he has saved them. Okay.
Okay.
He has snatched them from the hand of their enemies, brought them back to their land, and cleansed their sins. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So God's like, don't worry about it, Satan. This is none of your concern.
Yeah.
I fucking rebuke thee.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's funny because like later Jesus cleanses sins by dying on the cross.
Yeah.
So this is very, cleansing of the sins. It's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. You can see how it.
Right.
You can see how somebody read this and was like, I like that bit.
Right. No, I reckon. Yeah. Like this whole book so far, there's like all these like, oh, Jesus is in that bit.
But it's not,
sort of like the idea of
it's not that Jesus is in that bit so much as that you're like, oh, that's where they got that Jesus-y bit from. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
You can totally see how the Old Testament influenced the writing of the New Testament, even though we haven't read it yet.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of amazing.
Well, and I can also see how you can tie it, like if you pick and choose and cherry pick, right?
Yeah.
You can take bits of the Old Testament and tie it in with things from the New Testament, and you quote one thing, like you quote one verse from the Old Testament, and you're like, see how this ties into here?
Yeah.
But you're quoting it out of context and without any information about it,
Right.
So like, yes, you can tie things in and you can make them fit for more reasons than one, because Christianity took the Old Testament and built their version of the religion around the prophecies from the Old Testament.
Yep.
And also, if you take anything out of context, you can make it fit whatever you want. So just, sorry, I just had to say that.
You're not wrong. So I'm going to read verse 2 now. I know we're moving right along through this fucking chapter, right?
Yeah.
But this is the one where he gets called a brand or like a burning something or other.
Okay.
And we're like, the fuck? What?
Sure.
Like, this whole chapter was so confusing.
Yeah.
Actually, all of these chapters were confusing.
It's true.
So I appreciated preparing the notes for this because literally I did not get any of this from what we were reading. So, all right. Verse 2, our translation reads, ... is not this man a burning stick snatched from the fire? But other translations read, is this not a brand plucked from the fire?
Okay.
Okay. A brand is a burnt, burning, or smoldering piece of wood.
Sure.
It isn't worth very much and will be consumed completely if it isn't plucked from the fire.
Sure.
So God's like, I plucked these people or this one dude from the fire.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's like, is this not this man, a burning stick snatched from the fire?
Okay.
Okay. Now, verse 3 says, now Joshua was dressed in filthy clothes as he stood before the angel. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's read some notes about that. Joshua wasn't in God's presence just as a spectator, but also as a ministering priest of service.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's like not just a guy, he's like interacting and asking questions, and he's like a main character.
Yeah.
He's standing there dirty.
Right.
Okay. Satan was probably pointing at Joshua's filthy clothes and declaring that Joshua was totally unfit, unclean to stand before the Lord. As the representative of the people, so too were the people unclean to enter the temple in God's service.
I could see this all playing out as just like some elaborate, almost like a play that they put on for the people that they're trying to teach these lessons to, and so that way it visually has this like resonance with people as far as how they view this relationship that they have with their God versus, the accuser, Satan, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And it would make a lot more sense as to why people took these ideas in the way they did.
Yeah.
Because if the prophets are showmen, much like, a lot of the bigger priests and pastors of today, they would be trying to convince people through a show,
through story,
how these things, transpire.
You got to be charismatic and you got to put on a show.
Right.
And that's what this was. And the only other time that we see Satan was in Job, and it was the same fucking thing.
Right.
It was the conversation about man right in front of man.
Right. Yeah.
So, FYI, the Hebrew word for filthy is the strongest expression in the Hebrew language for filth of the most vile and loathsome character.
Oh, okay.
So
all
when
right.
Satan's like, he filthy.
That's strong words.
Yeah. He's not just saying like, do dirty and kind of stink a bit. He's saying he is the worst of the worst, the lowest of the low. He's got shit on his face and on his soul. Okay.
Yeah.
So Joshua's filthy clothes were symbolic of his iniquities and thus symbolic of the people's iniquities on a larger basis. And like I said, I got none of this from reading it, but now it makes so much better sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So the vision of the cleansing of Joshua and his filthy garments symbolizes restoration of the people, forgiveness.
Sure.
Okay. So Joshua's iniquity is removed and he is given clean garments. Now he's going to go set up the temple and its priesthood for them once again.
Yay!
Okay, now verse 5 says, then I said, put a clean turban on his head.
Yeah,
Remember,
that
we were
was
like,
really
what?
weird, right?
Like, that's out of the blue and odd. Yeah. So apparently the turban was part of the high priest's garments.
Oh.
And on the front, it had a gold plate inscribed with the phrase, holiness to the Lord. And that was actually apparently discussed in the book of Exodus.
Huh.
Which I don't recall.
I do recall them talking about the priest's garments.
Yeah.
Like there was the whole pomegranates and there was a lot of things that I do
the
recall.
Thummim and the Thurman.
Right,
or
yeah.
something.
There
The
was like
Durman and the Thummim.
they had some specific colors that they utilized and different things like that, but I don't recall
I don't
plate
recall the
on
turban. I don't recall the turban or the plate on the turban.
Right.
But apparently there was a big old hat thing and a plaque on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those religious people love their hats.
They fucking do, right?
You know?
I mean, look, if I gotta be religious, I want a hat.
You know? I mean,
but a cool hat, not just like a baseball hat.
Right.
Like, witches got pointy round hats, right?
Sure.
Like, everybody's got hats.
I mean, the Pope, for God's sakes.
Oh,
Jesus.
That is quite the
That
hat.
guy's got a hat.
I will tell you. Dr. Seuss hats,
Right?
they are tall.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need a hat if I'm going to go to church. That's all I'm saying. So you cannot get me into a church unless there's a hat involved.
Got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So carrying on, we're still in chapter 3.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And the rest of this is God's message to Joshua the high priest. Okay.
All right.
So there's a personal admonishment and a promise to Joshua. Joshua and his fellow priests are warned to be faithful to God in carrying out their duties in the new temple, he said duty, that God will put in their care. So he's like, I'm telling you what to do with this temple. Now listen, take note.
Yeah.
Okay. And Joshua will then be able to enter the presence of God without fear of Satan's accusations. So he's telling him, like, dude, I'm giving you exactly the instructions. And so once you guys get this thing built, it'll be fine. And you can totally go in there and give me all your gold.
Got it.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the reestablishment of the Israelite priesthood is a further sign to assure the people that their Messiah will come. Because, they are very, like, there's going to be a Messiah coming someday.
Right.
That's very awesome for them.
Apparently.
Okay? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so verse 8 reads, "Listen, high priest Joshua, you and your associates seated before you who are men symbolic of things to come. I am going to bring my servant, the branch."
Okay.
So the term branch is used several times as a title for the Messiah. I don't recall it, but apparently it happened twice in the book of Isaiah and twice in the book of Jeremiah.
Okay.
Our translation may have said something different.
Is that why some people think that the branch that Moses beat the rock with was symbolic of something too? Maybe.
I have no idea.
Okay.
But the branch is associated with fruitfulness and life, and so maybe Moses's stick
represented something along depending on who you ask, maybe. I don't know that that's the case.
I mean, they're always talking about wood and branches and trees and bushes. Yeah. So who could fucking know, right?
Right.
Yeah. A specially engraved stone is to be set in the temple as a reminder of what the Messiah will do. He will cleanse the land of sin and bring in a new era of contentment and prosperity. So verse 9 says, "See the stone I have set in front of Joshua. There are 7 eyes on that one stone.
Yeah, that was weird.
And I will engrave an inscription on it, says the Lord Almighty."
It's a good thing Moses isn't around anymore because, he had to stay up there for 40 days for him to engrave something. They had to go back for 40 more because he broke the first one.
Yeah.
And he's just going to let this guy not go up a mountain. He's just going to engrave it.
He's like, here,
here's a rock. It's engraved.
Hold this. Yeah. So on that one stone, I will engrave it, and I will remove the sin of this land in a single day.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Moses is jealous.
Right?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just in case a branch seems weak, God gives another symbol, a stone engraved with 7 eyes.
That does it. Right there. That seals the deal.
He wasn't sure that the branch was going to do it. So he's like, here's a rock with 7 eyes on it.
I'll tell you what. If I see a rock with literally 7 eyes on it, that's a pretty strong sign of things.
You mean actual eyes or engraved eyes?
Oh, actual eyes.
Well, these are just engraved eyes.
Oh, well, that's bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, it literally says, I'm going to engrave.
No, I thought he was engraving the words. I thought the eyes were eyes,
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All
right. So, no, it's a stone engraved with 7 eyes. Okay. The stone itself was probably a ceremonial object or a cornerstone, something meant to symbolize strength, foundation, or authority. It is used here as a metaphor for something or someone unshakable.
Oh, okay.
Someone.
Yeah.
So God places the stone in front of Joshua, the high priest, implying that the foundation being laid, whether spiritual or tangible, is divine. Because he's not putting it in front of the governor. He's putting it in front of the spiritual leader.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So this is a God thing. All right?
Sure.
So eyes are generally symbolic of perception, knowledge, awareness, that kind of thing, education.
Yeah.
It reflects how the people took in information.
Okay.
Why 7 of them, though, right?
Yeah.
We actually did a numerology thingamabobber early on. The number 7 in Hebrew literature means completeness, perfection, and totality, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Think 7 days of creation, 7 days in a week.
There was definitely reiterating themes of numbers throughout the Old Testament.
77777.
And 40.
Yeah. And 40.
Right.
Yeah. 7 and 40. Yeah. So 7 eyes means complete and perfect understanding.
Okay. Yeah.
And that indicates that the coming messianic figure is wise and all-seeing. Whoever
it might be.
Whoever that Messiah is.
We're not hedging any bets here. We're not saying who it's going to be.
I don't know anything about that.
It might or might not happen,
Yeah.
in the near future, or,
I don't know anything about it.
Who knows?
That's not mine to know.
Right.
Nope. All right. So we are now done with the first 3 chapters. We're starting chapter 4.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is where we get into the 5th vision. Okay.
Yeah.
And this one is a fuckaroo. I mean, what the actual hells is going on here?
Yeah.
The 5th vision is of a 7-headed lampstand standing between 2 olive trees. And the olive trees pour their oil into a central bowl on top of the lampstand. And the oil from the central bowl then feeds the 7 lamps that provide the light.
Okay.
This means that the lamps do not need anyone to look after them because magic.
Yeah.
Light is provided supernaturally through the constant supply of oil from the trees. And when I say lampstands, you can also imagine the word menorah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I did read that is another translation.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. So the prophet, overpowered by his last vision, is roused by the angel to behold another. Like, he's like, dude, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read the first couple of verses here.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Then the angel who talked with me returned and woke me up, like someone awakened from a sleep.
Yeah.
Like when you get woke up, it's because you were asleep.
That's true. That's generally true. Yeah.
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 So apparently he's going to go on to have 8 total visions, of which this is the 5th, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
And apparently all 8 of these visions came in a single night.
Wow.
So it appears that Zechariah, wearied by the excessive excitement of all of these visions that are happening,
Yeah.
he had fallen asleep.
Okay.
I mean, he just had 4 visions in one night, and he's about to have his 5th. And so he's like, I'm tired.
You'd think if God wanted to talk to you, he could keep you awake, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, that doesn't seem like it would be that hard.
It doesn't. It really
like
doesn't.
God he can build an entire solar system, universe, and planet in 7 days. And
I mean,
he can't keep, this dude awake.
Humankind can make monster drinks,
Right, yeah.
like energy drinks, dude. So the angel came again a second time to arouse him from his slumber.
Okay.
This was not the first time he had fallen asleep during that momentous chain of events.
Okay.
So now I'm going to read verse 2. I see a solid gold lampstand with a bowl at the top and 7 lamps on it, with 7 channels to the lamps.
Yeah.
Okay. So God gave Zechariah a vision of the gold lampstand that was meant to stand in the temple as a representation of the presence of God in the temple. So he's like, here's a picture of a magic lamp. Now take that picture in your head, and that's me in the temple that you're going to build. Okay?
So God's a lampstand.
Yeah. God's a light.
Whatever.
But
He's a fucking lampstand.
He is a lampstand, totally. And remember, the number 7 in Hebrew means completeness, perfection, and totality.
Right.
So the 7 lamps refer to divine omniscience.
Sure.
Or the complete spiritual insight needed for the task ahead.
Okay.
Okay. So that's why 7 lamps, not just like 6 or 1.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Okay. Verse 3 reads, also, there are 2 olive trees by it, one on the right of the bowl and the other on its left.
Okay.
Okay, so the lamps in the temple were normally fueled by pure, specially prepared olive oil, but the lampstand Zechariah saw in his vision was fed straight by the trees.
Wow.
Magic.
Wow.
Total
trees.
magic.
Yeah.
Now, this is interesting, I think.
Okay.
One of the more tedious duties of the, you said duty,
Jesus.
of the temple service was the constant care of the lamps on the gold lampstand. They had to be continually refilled with oil, cleaned of soot, and their wicks had to be maintained.
Yeah.
Now, that's why it's interesting, right? Because you had to go to all that effort all the time, right?
Right.
But in this vision, Zechariah sees self-filling lamps fed directly from 2 olive trees.
Wow.
So, nobody's
got to do work to fill the lamps.
Yeah,
you're
you
good
just
to
gotta,
go.
You do have to build the temple.
And you gotta worship your God.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he might not fill the lamps anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Among other things that he might do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's such a dick.
He really is.
So Zechariah asked for an explanation of the vision because he's not the only one that's confused.
Yeah,
he's
I mean, it's no wonder we were confused if Zechariah doesn't even fucking know.
Exactly. I mean, he had to ask an angel of the Lord. All we have is some people that have been studying this shit for years and put it on the internet.
Right, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
All right. So the meaning of the vision. This vision was of particular encouragement to Zerubbabel, who in his task of reconstructing the temple faced mountainous obstacles. Okay, so here's the problems that he faced. And Zerubbabel was the governor. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
Just to remind everybody.
Yeah.
So his authority was limited by Persia.
Yeah.
He had a shortage of labor and materials. His workers were discouraged by some of the Jewish people who despised the new building as being small in comparison with Solomon's magnificent temple from way back.
Okay.
And he was surrounded by hostile foreigners who tried to hinder the work. So Zerubbabel had all of this shit going on. So when he heard from Zechariah that no, the temple's going to get done, and God is going to be the light inside of it. It's going to be awesome. Zerubbabel was like, "That's so cool. I'm really glad to hear that. I feel so much better.
Yeah,
yay! I can sleep at night." Okay? Right. So God now gives him a message of encouragement and reassurance. Just as the lamps receive a continuous supply of oil supernaturally, so the temple will be finished through the power of God's Spirit. So people, when they finish it, they are not to take credit for having built it.
It's God.
They were only able to build it because God gave them
just like
whatever.
You didn't get cured of cancer by a doctor. You got cured of cancer because of God.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
So God's power, not human power, is to be the source of Zerubbabel's strength. So he's telling him ahead of time, rely on God because God will always be there. So it's like a self-fulfilling little snake eating its tail.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Zechariah then records an additional meaning given to the two olive trees. Through the Davidic prince Zerubbabel and the high priest Joshua, God will supply spiritual power to Israel, and this will enable Israel to send forth the light of God throughout the whole earth.
I see. Okay.
So this is not local anymore. They are talking big.
They're going global with this.
They're going global.
Which is like
the whole desert. Right? So the vision was intended to assure the Jews of the success of Joshua and Zerubbabel in building the temple. Okay.
All right.
So verse 7 of chapter 4 reads, "What are you, mighty mountain?" And we were like, the fuck? Why is he calling him that? Weird?
Right. Yeah.
Like, yeah, mountain. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sorry, to continue reading that. "What are you, mighty mountain? Before Zerubbabel, you will become level ground. Then he will bring out the capstone to shouts of, 'God bless it, God bless it.'"
Yeah, those are weird. Weird.
We did not understand any of that.
No.
So here's the deal. Okay, I'm going to break it down for you. Okay, literally, the great mountain was the giant pile of rubble at the temple site, and that rubble will be removed and the work carried on. Okay, that's the literal definition.
Got it. Yeah.
Metaphorically speaking, the work of rebuilding the temple was so massive that it seemed like a great mountain. And here, God promised that by his Spirit, that great mountain would be leveled into a plain.
Or at least by delegation.
Right.
Yes.
Because I ain't doing it. Now, remember it talked about a capstone or something like that?
Sure.
He will bring out the capstone to shouts of, "God bless it, right?
Yeah.
So the Hebrew word for capstone translates to the head or final or top stone.
Okay. Yeah.
In construction, the capstone is the last stone placed when a building is finished, especially like in an arch or at the top of a structure.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It symbolizes completion. So it's not just the final piece, it's the symbolism of being the final piece of the project.
Yep.
Okay. So here it refers to the final piece of rebuilding the temple. In other words, God is telling Zerubbabel directly, that giant pile of rubble won't stop you. You'll get to do the ribbon cutting ceremony at the grand opening. Okay, that's what he's telling.
Is he going to have giant stickers, though? Or scissors?
Scissors.
Not stickers.
I know. I was thinking that the whole time, like, is he going to cut the ribbon, but with the giant scissors?
Right, yeah.
And that's the only way you can cut a ribbon.
Obviously.
Right?
Yeah.
So this statement was God's assurance to Zerubbabel that not only will the work be completed, but Zerubbabel will be the one to finish it.
Wow. That's great.
That's kind of cool to know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So surmounting every obstacle in the way at length by the good providence of God, the temple should be finished amidst the joyful acclamations of the spectators. Verse 10 reads, "Who dares despise the day of small things, since the 7 eyes of the Lord that range throughout the earth will rejoice when they see the chosen capstone in the hand of Zerubbabel." That is a lot of symbols all mashed together.
It really is.
Into one sentence.
It is. Yeah.
So the angel's explanation of the golden candlestick and the 2 olive trees.
Yeah.
Okay. Verse 14 reads, "So he said, these are the 2 who are anointed to serve the Lord of all the earth."
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
So in Zechariah's day, the 2 anointed ones were Zerubbabel, the political or civic authority, like the guy in charge, right?
And part of the Davidic line.
Yes.
So,
and
which
Joshua,
is important.
It is very important. Yeah. And Joshua was the spiritual authority. So by saying that these 2 are anointed, he's saying, like, these are the guys that are in charge, and it is approved by, like, condoned by God.
Right.
And so these 2 are doing this together. Everything's good. Just go build it.
Well, even more than that, I think God gave Zerubbabel a ring or something.
A signet.
Yeah, a signet.
Yeah. So they were not the entire trees, but 2 olive branches from the trees, 1 branch from each tree.
Okay.
Again, with the fucking branches.
Oh, I see. So the trees represented Zerubbabel and Joshua.
No.
Oh.
The trees themselves represent the kingly and priestly offices in Israel, but the dudes themselves are just 2 branches off the trees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So that is the end of chapter 4. And now I feel like, okay, I can start chapter 5 and get confused all over again.
Yeah. Good times.
But at least I'm caught up now. Like, I understand what happened.
Right.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Do you feel better?
Definitely. It makes a lot more sense. I mean,
insofar as
there's some clarification as to what some of those symbols probably possibly mean. Right. So that's helpful in understanding probably where we're going to go from here, which is great. So I'm happy to know the things that we know now.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to cover with this one, or?
Absolutely not. My voice is going out.
Yeah. No, I know. We had to stop twice already.
I know. I'm sorry. If I talk too long, my throat gets dry and itchy, and I start losing my voice.
Yeah. I do want to say that we've had a run of some things happening. We had to get a new computer. We had our refrigerator was like sounding like a goddamn elephant running. Anyway, we've had issues going on.
Yeah, we had to take the cat to the vet. So, she's fine.
Right. Yeah. So there's been a lot of things going on, and we apologize for not getting these out quicker. But hopefully, now that we've got some things settled in, we'll be getting these out a little bit more regularly, and going forward from here, it'll be better.
Yes.
So that's our hope, and
that's always the dream.
That's always it's our vision. That's our that's our
capstone
vision.
Or vision.
Whatever.
No, it's not our capstone.
No.
That was the wrong
capstone's
word.
Still years away.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys, as always, for joining us, and we really appreciate you. And we will. I'm gonna get the weekly replay out here soon, and then we'll be back with
Zechariah Chapter 5.
All right. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.